All right, guys, back again with lesson 7.4. All right, and this lesson should be a little easier, a little reprieve from some of the harder ones. So today we're going to be talking about three-dimensional figures. All right. As always, there's a few things I want you to remember. Number one, a solid is a 3D figure. That means it has three dimensions to it. It has depth, it has height, it has width, it has length. It has three total dimensions. A polyhedron is a solid or a 3D figure whose faces are all polygons. And a polygon is just a closed figure. All right, and then a prism is a polyhedron that has two parallel identical bases, and the lateral faces are parallelograms or rectangles. Lateral means the sides of the shape, okay? So the top and the bottom, we could think of it as the top and the bottom being the bases, will be a shape. And then the sides or the lateral faces are either going to be parallelograms, rectangles, or squares. And then another shape you're going to talk about today is a pyramid. And a pyramid is a polyhedron that has one base, and the lateral faces are all triangles. And when you think of a pyramid, think of just what you thought about in history. You think about the pyramids that have of Egypt. And so that's what I want you to think of. They're all going to come up to a central point. All right? All right, now let's go ahead and let's look at this really quick. We have a shape. It's a rectangular prism. All right, and it has three terms that you need to be very familiar with. All right, a face is the flat surface. It's the flat surface, okay, of a polyhedron. Well, there's more than one. That's one. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we have 6 flat surfaces on this polyhedron. We have a top, we have a bottom, and we have 4 sides. All right, so when you look at that, you have 6 faces would be our answer. And then an edge is going to be a line segment where the two faces intersect. So this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge, and this is an edge. That's just 4 of them. And you would go around the whole shape finding all the edges. All right? And you would count up all the lines that you would need to draw to make this three-dimensional shape. All right, so if we were to count up, there are 4 edges on this end. That means there's 4 on the other end. And then we have this edge and this edge. All right, and we have this edge and this edge. You only count an edge once. All right, so you would have 10 edges on this shape. All right, and then we have the vertex. A vertex is a point where all of the edges intersect. So just think of all your corners, okay? All of our corners, and we would have a vertex. So with this shape, with this rectangle, we have 4 corners on the bottom, we have 4 corners on the top, so we would have 8 vertex, or vertices is the plural. All right, let's go ahead and let's see if we can identify how many faces, edges, and vertices there are in these shapes. All right, so let's look at this one first, the pink shape. All right, how many faces do you see? And think about depth. All right, I'm looking at it right now. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. The bottom is 5, and then the back would make 6 faces. All right, now edges, or how many line segments are used to draw this shape. All right, so think about there's 4 on the top, there's 4 on the bottom, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the sides. So that would be 12 edges. Then our vertices are all of our points, and they have those marked for you. So it makes it a lot easier to count them, and we have 8 vertices. All right, now let's go to our triangular prism, is what this is. Let's count our flat surfaces, our faces. We have the triangle in the front, we have the triangle in the back. And then we have the base. So we're up to 3 shapes right now, and then we have the sides going on either side. All right, so a total of 5 faces. How many edges are there? How many lines does it take to draw this shape? And you should come up with a total of 9 edges, because you have a rectangle on the bottom, you have a triangle on each end, and then you have your top connecting them. So 3 sides for the triangles, 3 sides for that triangle, that's 6. Your rectangle on the bottom, and then your line across the top, and that gives you a total of 9. All right, our vertices, or our corners where all of our line segments meet, when you count those up, you should get 6, a total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then don't forget this guy back here, 6. 6 vertices. All right, now let's look at, this is some important information, the difference between a prism and a pyramid. And it's pretty simple. The fact that they both start with P can be confusing for some people, but a prism has a base, and in this case they're calling the triangle the base. They've just laid it on its side so you could see that it has a triangular base, and then the 3 sides. And a prism and a pyramid both are identified by the shape of its base, and the bases are parallel. All right. A pyramid, you'll notice the difference. It has a base, but all of the sides come up to this point right here. So it makes a pyramid shape. Notice that the base in this case is a rectangle, even though all of the sides are triangles. They will be in a pyramid. You always look at the base, and that's how you're going to identify it. All right, so our base is a rectangle, so this is a rectangular pyramid. On the prism, our base is a triangle, so it is a triangular prism. All right, now let's see if you can do it this time. I'm going to give you some time to think about it. On your paper, just put F for faces, E for edges, V for vertices. All right, and I'm just going to walk you through it. Let's look at faces first, flat surfaces. All right, think about tops, bottoms, and sides. How many are there in this shape? All right, how many of you got 7? 7 would be the correct answer because I have 1 top and 1 bottom, so that's 2. And because it is a pentagon, or 5-sided figure, I have 5 sides. So 5 plus 2, the top and the bottom, are 7. Okay? Now I want you to come up with the edges. How many edges, or how many line segments are there? How many line segments are there? How many edges? I'm going to tell you it's going to be a 2-digit number. So if you got something less than 10, you know you're incorrect. It's got to be more than 10 actually. All right, how many of you got 15? Yeah, you should have had 15 because I have 5 edges that make my top. That means I have 5 edges that make my bottom. And then I have 5 long lines that make up my sides. So 5 times 3, top, bottom, sides, is 15. All right, now I want you to count the vertices or the corners, the points. Count them all. All right, how many of you got 10? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 vertices or 10 corners. All right, now I want you to look at these 4 shapes and I want you to identify them, whether they're a prism or a pyramid, and I want you to look at their base and tell me what shape, because they're going to be identified by their base. All right, so first of all, let's look at this first one. Is it a pyramid or a prism? If you said prism, you are correct. All right, it has a flat base and a flat bottom. All right, now I'm going to look at the base to decide what we're going to call this. What kind of a prism is it? And the base is what shape? Right, it's a triangular prism. All right, let's look at the one right below it. Okay, is this a prism or a pyramid? Right, it's a pyramid, and you can see a distinct difference. All right, all of the sides come up to one central point. But I'm still going to look at the base, and I'm going to name my pyramid what? Right, a rectangular pyramid. All right, let's look at this shape. All right, is it a prism or a pyramid? All right, and if you said pyramid, you are correct because all the sides come up to one central point. All right, and what is the shape of the base? Right, it is a triangular pyramid. All right, and we have one more shape. Okay, is it a prism or is it a pyramid? It's a prism, that's right. All right, and what is our bottom shape? It is a rectangular prism. That is correct. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to go do your assignment. It's fairly simple. And then you'll notice on one of the days that I have you watching a video to learn how to draw 3D shapes. They really do feel like it's important that you are able to draw them. It will help you understand faces, edges, and vertices. So if you'll go on the video, it's just a few minutes. He has you drawing some of the basic ones that you'll see. All right? So practice that, be familiar with it, and it helps you look at shapes differently. All right.